your drifts. What?
There's no more to be said, but he is banished. As enemy to the people and his country, it shall be so!
God, whose breath I hate, as weep over the rotten fence, whose loves I prize as the dead carcasses of unburied men that do corrupt my air. I banish you.
Acting in a foreign language is a project which has been going on in our actor training in the University of Tampere since 1995. We have been acting in Spanish, Italian, even in Mandarin Chinese so far. And the whole project of Coriolanus Online started so that I was giving a lecture in Zurich in January 2015, and the Dean of Coventry University, Mark Evans, was there and heard my presentation, and he got very interested in acting in a foreign language, and he suggested the collaboration. And because they were interested in developing online teaching, and of course they could offer us their expertise in Shakespeare. So of course this we got very interested in, and that's how the whole thing started.
The innovation behind it was that although there have been online collaborations before, and people, including the RSC, have used laptops and Skype to rehearse, we blew it up to a major scale, which again created a whole ton of problems that we had to overcome. We used a full-size rear projection screen in both spaces so that the actors were appearing actual size with each other, so each actor was able to look each other in the eye. This gave us problems with trying to solve the problem of eye contact, which we had to work quite a lot to get around the idea of actors looking at each other and actually being able to make direct eye contact. We used directional sound, so that we used placement of speakers, so that the sound actually appeared to be coming from the actual actor themselves who were speaking. We lit both spaces in the same way so that the actors had the illusion that they were actually sharing the same space. And we dealt with the issues of latency, lag, delay, whatever you want to call it, in order to really get it as finely tuned as possible so that the actors really felt that the technology would become invisible.
When this question was evoked, that what kind of an effect this whole Coriolanus online course and virtuality had on our teaching of drama, I was really baffled that the first thing I could say that none, because in a way we had a sense of feeling that these English students and teachers were with us here in Tampere during the whole week, but they weren't. And this is I think the main point, that we were really having actual international collaborative workshop on Shakespeare and drama, with lectures, with rehearsals, with student collaboration one-on-one and smaller groups, and all this we had like about 3 different virtual tools to work with. We had Adobe Connect, we have some Skype, we had Facebook groups for scheduling and communication and short notice changes, and all this using of different kind of tools at the same time created a kind of real sense of community and a real sense that these British students and teachers were actually visiting Tampere without the flight costs, without hotel costs. Everybody stayed home, everybody had normal work hours, and the budget was minimal. We didn't spend almost any extra money or work hours for this, and we had a total like week and a half workshop, international workshop on Shakespeare. And I think this is something we should focus on, that this work can be done, and it's much cheaper and environmentally more sensible way to do this. And at this part I have to remind that if we want to develop our drama, develop our art, we got to have international collaboration. Students and teachers, it's essential that they have to get to know people from different cultures, and because we have this European theater tradition, which is not the same in everywhere, but it has similarities. So we have a lot to learn from each other.
It was only towards the end of the 2 weeks with the kit that everybody got really comfortable with it, and it was very easy just to drop in and, oh, here we are again, let's carry on from where we were before. It's the amount of time, and you need really to have a dedicated space and plenty of lead-in time. And I think also the personal interactions in the same space are really important. The fact that Miko and Tina came over, they saw the kind of space that we could be using, they met us. There's so many things that really break down the barriers there. If it had all been done entirely remotely from the get-go without any actual physical meeting, I think it would have been a lot harder. It really shortens things, even though the end result you want is to be able to work remotely, you want to be able to communicate remotely. It's those real interactions in a real live space together that can really seal the deal and make it work.
Do one of you want to start?
Lydia!
Whoppa!
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 Whoppa! Whoppa! Cutter!
She's not here!
She's not here, unfortunately.
Isn't Eniola there? No! It's all right. It's all right.
You need quite a large room, mainly for the back projection, to get the distance to project on a screen. We had a 9-foot by 12-foot screen that was back projection able, as it were, and you need to have double the size of what you would normally have in a room to project, because you need the room for back projection, you need the room to be able to do things in front of the screen. We had a sound system that was linked up to the Polycom conferencing software that also had a camera, and within that software it also had some dedicated microphones as well. So the microphones were picking up the ambient noise, they were being transferred through the Polycom that was also connected to the internet, that was then being transferred through to Finland. We projected everything in standard definition. It would have been lovely in high definition, but there's very little capabilities at the moment throughout the university to do that. So everything was projected in standard definition, and we also cordoned off either side of the screen. So to the people on our side, it felt very much like that's where the room ended, even though there was another 12, 15 feet behind the screen that there was nothing happening. It just felt like that was the edge of the room for them. So the screen was leading into Finland, and the guys at Tampere had exactly the same setup.
I think for me, the most memorable moment was that when one morning we were doing some warm-up exercises, and it was an exercise which is quite common in actor training, that without saying a word, they walk together and find together a moment when they go down and lie down on the floor and stay there for a while silently, and again find a moment when they get up at the same time. And this was really a powerful moment, because usually when you operate online you are quite used to quick bombardment of stimuli, and this shared virtual silence was something that I had never experienced before. So the sense of closeness, even if there was this huge distance, was quite amazing, that they really felt that they were sharing the same space.
Yeah, because of the delay. But
because of the delay, she can see everybody. Because they can't see when she's turning, and she's turning when everybody's moving already. And you stop, see her. Yes, so basically she sees everybody moving.
oh my gosh. Now like inhuman.
Oh!
Yeah, I don't know your name, I'm really sorry.
In the white.
It's Miko. Miko. Yeah, we saw you, Miko. Yeah.
It's always helpful to work with people that are from a different background, culture, especially in acting, because, I mean, you are your tool in acting, and if you can just learn as much as you can, then it's great. So by doing this and working with people that, like for the Finnish students, it gave you an insight into their culture where it's like, maybe Britain can learn from this. Definitely what, like Juho was talking about, the culture, the work culture, you could automatically tell there was a difference. They were always ready, they always wanted to do something, and I feel like it's definitely universities in, or like just the education system needs to have that oomph that they have, and I think we can learn a lot from them.
I think this is one of the best experiences an actor could have, really. I mean, we're doing Shakespeare, which is obviously a big thing in any actor's life, especially here in England. But also connecting with with people who have the same passion as you, but in a completely different, country, culture, and how they deal with it, and learning that, so that if I wanted to go and work out there, then I kind of know how they work out there, and vice versa. If they came over here, they know that knowledge now too. And also working with the different cultures, the language, and picking up the language within a week. I mean, if I was to go and work in a different place for a couple of months, who knows how much I'd learn.
And I don't think it's a national stereotype to say is they really made our students raise their game. Our students, I noticed, weren't late to rehearsals, were ready to go, had work prepared. English students will phone it in for a couple of weeks in rehearsal. They'll go, yeah, I'll give you 50%. And then when it gets close to the dress rehearsal, then I'll put my foot on the accelerator, and then I'll show you my real acting skills. The Finns give you 100% from the start. They've got their foot down immediately, and our students had to match that. Or, I mean, they were frightened of being outgunned by the Finns. There was a kind of sense of, Shakespeare's our guy, and they're showing us how to do it. We must retaliate, and it became competitive in a very healthy sense, in that it was friendly competition, and it was, especially whenever we started to play the games, and our students were desperately trying to win, and the Finns were desperately trying to win. And in a theatre situation, you only really get the meaning of the game if you try and win it. If you play it kind of in a halfway house, you don't really get the benefit of it. You have to actually try and win it to learn the lesson of the game. And I felt that kind of attitude to work and attitude to being focused really changed the way our students worked during this process.
One really amazing thing that I discovered in this week, that when we go virtual and when we collaborate in virtual world, the local becomes very important. I mean, then we can really see the differences and similarities in these student and drama cultures, and you can really see that it becomes really important that where we are. For example, when students went to bar in this Adobe Connect with this app, and somebody was at home, somebody was at bar in Finland, and somebody was at school, and everybody, but they were together in this, and they were really having a student collaboration with the small amounts of alcohol, and they were really keen. Where are you? So the local became highlighted and very important in this in these virtual spaces, which is quite interesting.
The Finnish one first, right?
Yeah. Kuuletteko kansalaiset? Kaliole tulies!
Hiljaa! Et tarvita enää muita suteita. Olet nähin hänen telokoskan ja kuulet puheensa. Nahon lunit vire megnat, kironut, teansä inseneet, vastannut. Asien lakia jatkasta una valta, ja kosken hana tuki jo tämän jukskin, näin rokin, ja syrisy, oanstin valotman kuulemaan. Luutukosta hän on palvelut Roomahuven?
Mitä te lässitätte palveluksesta?
Puhun siitä, mistä taidan.
Te
Olkaa hyvä.
en kuule yhtään enempää. Tuomitkoot kuolemaan tarpeen kuilussa, maan pakoon, ruoskittavaksi, kitumaan tyrmässä viljanjyväsellä päivässä. En silti aio ostaa niiden armoa edes yhden hyvän sanan hinnalla. Tai hillitä henkeäni, vaikka saisin niiltä kaiken mahdollisen vain sanomalla hyvää huomenta.
Kuulitteko kansalaiset?
Kaljolle, tiomies!
Hiljaa, ei tarvita enää muita syyteitä. Olette nähneet hänen tekonsa ja kuulleet puheensa. Hän on lyönyt virkamiehiään ja kironnut teitä itseään. Vastustanut aseen lakia ja tässä uhmaa valtaa. joka häntä tutkii jo tämä yksin. Näin rikollinen ja suuri syyllisyys ansaitsee välittömän kuoleman.
Mark you this, people.
To the rock! To the rock with it! We need not put new matter to his charge. What you have seen him do and heard him speak. Beating your officers, cursing yourselves, opposing laws with strokes and here defying those whose great power must try him. Even this, so criminal in such capital kind, deserves the extremest death.
But since he hath served well for Rome,
What do you prate of service?
I talk of that know it.
You!
No, I pray you.
I know no further. Let them pronounce the steep Topian death, vagabond exile, fleeing, bent to linger but with a grain a day. I would not buy their mercy at the price of one fair word, nor check my courage for what they can give. To have it with saying, good morrow.
All that he has. As much as in him lies from time to time, envy against the people, seeking means to pluck away their power, and now at last given hostile strokes, and that not in the presence of dreaded justice, but on the ministers that do distribute it. In the name of the people, and in the power of us, the tribunes, we even from this instant banish him our city, independent perception from off the rock Tarpeian, never more to enter our Rome gates. In the people's name, I say it shall be so. It shall be so. It shall be so.
Hear me, my mom!
His sentence! No more hearing!
Listen to me! I have been counsel, and I've been shown for Rome her enemy's marks upon me.
I do love my country's good with a respect more tender, more holy and profound than my own life.
My dear wife's estimate, her womb's increase and treasure of my loins.
Own life, my dear wife's estimate, her womb's increase and treasure of my loins. Then, if I should...
Dear wife's estimate, her womb's increase and treasure of my loins. Then, if I would speak that...
If I would
We know your drift. What?
There's no more to be said, but he is banished. As enemy to the people and his country, it shall be done! It shall be done! It shall be done! It shall be done!
God, whose breath I hate, as weak on the rotten fence, whose lumps I point at the dead carcasses of unburied men that do corrupt my air, I banish you!
And here remain with your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumor shake your hearts. Your enemies with nodding of their plumes fan you into despair.
Have the power still to banish your defenders, till at length your ignorance, which finds not till it feels, making not reservation of yourselves, still your own foes, deliver you as most abated captives to some nation that won you without blows.
Despising for you the city, thus I turn my back. There is a world elsewhere. There is a world elsewhere.
There's a world elsewhere.
There is a world elsewhere. There is a world elsewhere.
The people's enemy is gone. Is gone. Our enemy is banished. He is gone.
Go and see him out at gates, and follow him, as he hath followed you, with all despite. Give him deserved vexation. Let a guard attend us through the city.
Come, let's see him out at the gates. Come. The gods preserve our noble tribunes. Come.
in the phone! Put it in the phone!
It's really tiring, that acting, isn't it?